So Jigaboo Jay-Z was performing last night at his 30th anniversary of Reasonable Doubt and decided to stop and address Twitter activists and throw shots at Colin Kaepernick. You know, the same Colin Kaepernick that just paid for Nolan Wells' family to get an independent autopsy on their son.
They dig it deep. The narratives is embarrassing. They run out of the characters, had to bring back up Cap again. Buddy took a check. I ain't even mad at him.
Just when people thought Jay-Z could not look any more out of touch, he ended up taking another shot at Colin Kaepernick. People quickly noticed it, and many believed he was not telling the full story. Before long, criticism started spreading across social media. One of the strongest reactions came from DL Hughley, who reminded everyone that he had warned people about this situation a long time ago.
What does he have that other people who have the billions of dollars necessary to buy a team, what does he have? Influence. And what is influence for them? Silence. I want you to shut up and play.
When the whole NFL and Kaepernick controversy first became a major story, DL Hughley argued that Jay-Z had become a symbol of someone who was too comfortable working alongside powerful business interests instead of standing with the people who supported Kaepernick. At the time, plenty of people disagreed with him. Now, many are looking back at those comments in a very different way. What made the situation even bigger was that many people felt Jay-Z was not only criticizing Kaepernick, they believed his comments also targeted everyday people who questioned his billionaire lifestyle and his business partnerships, including the criticism surrounding his Target deal. That sparked another wave of debate across the internet. The whole situation quickly turned into a major controversy. During the opening night of his Yankee Stadium residency last weekend, Jay-Z paused during his performance to freestyle about the criticism aimed at him. Then, without much warning, he brought up Kaepernick.
They dig it deep. The narratives is embarrassing. They run out of the characters, had to bring back up Cap again. Buddy took a check. I ain't even mad at him. But along with that check, got to sign a non-disparagement. I'm the one they can't control.
Referring to him, Jay-Z said, "Buddy took a check, I ain't even mad at him." Jay-Z went even further by saying, "But along with that check, you have to sign a non-disparagement." That comment made it sound like Colin Kaepernick accepted a settlement from the NFL and agreed to stay quiet about the league afterward. Many people understood that as Jay-Z suggesting Kaepernick had given up his fight in exchange for money. The problem is that reports from sources familiar with the settlement say there was never any non-disparagement clause. According to those reports, Kaepernick did not sign an agreement preventing him from speaking critically about the NFL. His public statements over the years have also been pointed to as evidence because he continued speaking openly about how he believed he had been kept out of the league. For example, in November 2020, Kaepernick posted 1,363 days of being denied employment, still putting in work. That message remained public and continued the conversation about his NFL career. Many people argued that this did not match the idea that he had agreed to stay silent. What surprised many observers even more was the timing of Jay-Z bringing Kaepernick into the conversation. Kaepernick had not publicly criticized Jay-Z for years, so people questioned why the topic suddenly came back during the Yankee Stadium performance. That raised even more speculation online.
Shopping at Amazon or you boycott? You posting on Instagram? That's Meta, boy. Stop it. Y'all know Google owns YouTube. You picking and choosing the politicking as you.
I find it quite interesting that someone who is a billionaire would feel the need to throw shots at the average consumer, the person living paycheck to paycheck, and comparing a corporate partnership with Target to everyday people ordering something off of Amazon. And then he proceeds to punch down on Colin Kaepernick. You know, the same Colin Kaepernick that just paid for Nolan Wells' family. Kaepernick lost his career due to taking a stance on behalf of Black people, Black lives.
Just before the concert, Kaepernick had been making headlines helping fund an independent autopsy and funeral services for Nolan Wells, the 18-year-old from Mississippi whose death over the July 4th weekend had drawn public attention and ongoing questions. Because of that timing, many people wondered why Jay-Z decided to revisit the old NFL controversy at that particular moment. Nolan's family confirmed that Kaepernick helped pay for a private autopsy because they said they did not trust the official investigation. That decision received a lot of attention online, and many people praised him for supporting the family during a difficult time. At the same time, some critics pointed out that Jay-Z had not made any public statement about the case or offered public condolences. Those reactions led to even more debate across social media. Some people believed Jay-Z chose that moment to bring Kaepernick back into the spotlight instead of focusing on the help Kaepernick had provided. That opinion spread quickly, especially among people who were already frustrated with Jay-Z. To those critics, bringing up Kaepernick during the performance only added more controversy instead of answering the concerns people already had. Another reason many people believe Jay-Z mentioned Kaepernick was because attention had also shifted toward his new business partnership. Jay-Z had teamed up with Target to release an exclusive vinyl edition of Reasonable Doubt. During the same freestyle, he argued that people who shop on Amazon or use Instagram should not criticize his decision to work with Target. Those comments immediately sparked another round of online arguments. Many critics rejected that comparison. They argued there is a difference between everyday people using large companies because they're affordable or convenient, and a billionaire choosing major business partnerships. Jay-Z has the ability to decide which companies he works with, so some people felt comparing those situations missed the point. Because of that, many viewers saw the comments as an attempt to shift the conversation away from the criticism he was facing, rather than directly addressing it. Many critics argue that Jay-Z was holding everyday people to a different standard than the one they believed he applied to himself. They felt he was telling regular consumers they had to make perfect ethical choices, even though many people are simply trying to afford rent, groceries, and basic expenses. At the same time, they pointed out that Jay-Z has enormous financial resources and far more freedom when choosing his business partners. Those critics also argued that wealth can change priorities. In their view, once someone reaches billionaire status, financial growth and protecting business interests often become the main focus. That belief is one reason some people questioned why Jay-Z partnered with Target while the company was facing an active boycott. They argued that the partnership could weaken the impact of the boycott and shift public attention away from the movement. Supporters of that criticism connected the situation to arguments DL Hughley has made in the past. He has said that some wealthy celebrities can end up helping large corporations manage public backlash by influencing conversations and public opinion.
If they want to do something about what they saw as injustice, they could do it. They're with those people all the time. They give them money. They keep them employed. They get them elected. They don't need Jay-Z to have a conversation about social justice. But that's never been the conversation. What they want is silence. They want your quiet. They want you to be distracted. Anybody can own an NFL team. If you have the money, anybody could buy an NFL team. Why him?
That perspective has remained controversial, but it has resurfaced as people debate Jay-Z's recent comments and business decisions. According to those critics, Jay-Z understands how his actions are viewed and accepts the backlash because his business interests come first. Others strongly disagree with that interpretation, but the debate continues. Some commentators have also pointed to an email that reportedly appeared among documents connected to Jeffrey Epstein. Jay-Z's name was mentioned in discussions online about that email, although the existence of a mention alone does not establish wrongdoing or misconduct. Many people also questioned why the topic received relatively little mainstream media attention. This email dates back to 2014 and was reportedly written by Jess Staley, the former Barclays CEO and former JP Morgan executive. At the time, Staley was communicating with Jeffrey Epstein while large protests were taking place across Brazil. Those demonstrations were driven by public frustration over government spending on the 2014 FIFA World Cup and the 2016 Olympic Games, while many people believed essential public services were being neglected. According to reports about the email, Staley suggested there was little chance of similar large-scale protests happening among Black communities in the United States. He then made a comment that mentioned Jay-Z. The email reportedly stated, "You want to know why we are not Sao Paulo? Watch the TV ads on the Super Bowl. It's all about hip blacks and hip cars with white women. The group that should be in the streets has been bought off by Jay-Z. That reported message quickly became a topic of discussion online. Some commentators questioned why it received far less mainstream media attention than other material connected to the Epstein document releases. They argued that while many news stories focused on sensational allegations or high-profile names, this particular email generated much less coverage. Some critics believe the email reflects how influential celebrities can shape public attention and political conversations.
Emails are from back in 2014 where Jess Staley was telling Epstein that they do not fear black people protesting and revolting because they pretty much have their token black guy.
Others dispute that interpretation and caution against drawing broad conclusions from a single reported communication. Even so, the debate has continued. The discussion then shifted again after Van Lathan made claims about Rock Nation and its reported efforts regarding Colin Kaepernick's public image.
I know for sure, that Rock Nation was seeding negative stories about Colin Kaepernick during the time that he was really in traction with Jay-Z. For sure.
Van Lathan, a former senior producer at TMZ, shared a story on a recent episode of the Higher Learning podcast that added another layer to the debate. According to Lathan, after Jay-Z announced his partnership with the NFL, Harvey Levin told him he'd spoken with someone from Rock Nation. Lathan said the information being shared suggested that Colin Kaepernick no longer truly wanted to play football, had not stayed committed to training, and that the real issue was Kaepernick rather than the NFL. Lathan said he immediately questioned that narrative and told Levin they should not run the story in that form. According to his account, he believed it appeared designed to damage Kaepernick's public image. He also said Levin agreed to reconsider the coverage. Instead, TMZ reportedly published a different story focused on the possibility that Jay-Z could eventually pursue NFL ownership through his new partnership.
I know who was on the other end of the phone. I know who Harvey's Rock Nation contact is, right? I just got this information on the phone, and all of these things about Colin Kaepernick is what I just got told, right? And Harvey comes over to me and he says all of this stuff, and he's like, yeah, did you know that he actually doesn't really want to play?
For many people, that claim from Lathan became the biggest part of the discussion. If his account is accurate, critics argue it suggests there was an effort to influence how the public viewed Kaepernick during a highly controversial period. Others have not accepted that conclusion and note that the account reflects Lathan's description of what happened. The broader criticism from Jay-Z's opponents is that he partnered with the NFL after Kaepernick's dispute with the league, later said we're past kneeling, and then faced questions about whether he had consulted Kaepernick before making the deal. Those debates have continued alongside Lathan's claims about Rock Nation's reported media outreach. Now, fast forward to 2026, and Jay-Z's comments about Colin Kaepernick have sparked another wave of criticism. Many people argued that his description of Kaepernick was inaccurate and questioned why he decided to revisit the issue after so many years. Some critics also pointed to past controversies and public associations involving Jay-Z to argue that he is not in a strong position to judge someone else. Others have referenced his name appearing in discussions surrounding the released Epstein documents, although a mention in those materials alone does not establish wrongdoing. Jay-Z has also denied allegations that have been made against him. The main argument from his critics is that he lacks the moral authority to criticize Kaepernick. They believe continuing to defend his comments has only intensified the backlash. As the saying goes, pride comes before the fall. The reaction online did not slow down after the concert. Social media filled with debates over Jay-Z's comments, with many people accusing him of misrepresenting Kaepernick's situation. Others defended Jay-Z and argued that his freestyle was being taken out of context. The disagreement quickly spread across different platforms, keeping both names trending for days. At the same time, critics continued comparing Jay-Z's words with Kaepernick's actions over the years. They pointed to Kaepernick's continued activism and charitable work as reasons they believe the criticism was unfair. Supporters of Jay-Z, however, argued that his business decisions and public statements should be judged separately from Kaepernick's activism. That difference of opinion only made the conversation even more divided. One thing was clear: the performance reignited an old debate that many people thought had already been settled. Instead of moving the conversation forward, it reopened long-standing disagreements about the NFL, activism, celebrity influence, and corporate partnerships. Whether people sided with Jay-Z or Kaepernick, the controversy once again became one of the biggest topics people were discussing online. As more people weighed in, the discussion expanded beyond Jay-Z and Kaepernick. Many commentators started asking a bigger question about the role celebrities play when social movements become connected to major business deals. Some argued that famous figures can use their influence to bring attention to important causes. Others believe that corporate partnerships can sometimes change how those causes are viewed by the public. DL Hughley's earlier comments also returned to the spotlight as clips from past interviews began circulating again. Supporters said his criticism now seemed more relevant because of the renewed controversy. Others disagreed and argued that the situation was far more complicated than those older statements suggested. The debate remained divided, with both sides defending their positions across social media and podcasts. No matter where people stood, one thing became obvious: a few lines from a freestyle performance had reopened years of arguments about activism, business, and influence. Instead of ending the conversation, Jay-Z's remarks gave critics another reason to revisit old controversies, while giving supporters another opportunity to defend his decisions. That is why the story continued making headlines long after the concert ended. Now it is your turn to weigh in. What do you think about Jay-Z's comments about Colin Kaepernick? Why do you think he decided to bring up the issue again after all this time? Do you believe the criticism from DL Hughley is fair, or do you see the situation differently? Share your thoughts and join the conversation in the comments. If you enjoyed this video and want more breakdowns of the biggest stories making headlines, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with anyone who would find it interesting. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.